Okay, so here we are in SU85. Now this game is a very tight little game, and it showcases the strengths of this thing. I find of all of the Tier 5 TDs, two of the fixed structure, superstructure ones stand out to me, and it's this and the Stook. Very, very similar in many, many ways. The guns, this has got an 85mm gun, has very similar pen. Hang on, here we go. Now I've come here because you do get these shots up there. Unfortunately, I think that got absorbed by the truck or whatever it was. One. Two, yeah, so the SU85 has this 85mm gun. It has very similar pen to the really long 75mm gun on the Stook. Because it's an 85, it does more damage. So 180 damage compared to 135 on the Stook. But it does have a significantly lower rate of fire. I think it's about just over 4 seconds for the reload, something like that. It's a pity you can't see that on the replays. But its power is the gun and its stealth, and this game will show how a tank like this can out-stealth an enemy team if the map's the right map. And you've got enough people on your team that are spotting for you. It's not much good being incredibly super stealthy in an endgame situation where you're really being outgunned if you have to do all the spotting yourself, because no matter how good you are moving forward, spotting and pulling back and shooting, you will eventually get spotted. Anyway, I do drive a lot of TDs in these Tier 5 games because as soon as you get an open map, even though they've got substantially less health than the heavies and even the mediums, they are actually really good on these sort of maps that give you a bit of a sniping position. If you're looking at an end game between heavies trying to run into a base and TDs defending it across in a fairly open field of fire, generally speaking the TDs will win. And that's the prime reason I play these style tanks. Here we go. So you can see we're slowly killing the tanks on this side. Let's try and contribute to that by killing that T6. But unfortunately our heavy, like the KV1, died very early. He made a silly move. He ran down that central road, which meant that the team in the town in the centre here could fire back on him from the rear, and the enemy heavies could fire at him from the other side. So he basically put himself in a crossfire. So this game's looking more and more drastic. We've pulled it back just a little bit, and the guy in the Panzer 3J, who was doing quite a good effort at this point, he's killed 2 thus far. I think he's about to perhaps get himself another kill. He takes on the enemy Panzer 3J and manages to take it out. Now I was going up here to try and maybe think about supporting a push towards the cap, but thought better of it. They're coming to our cap, and that's what you want. They're ahead significantly. Look at that, 2.5 Panzer 3. I think he burnt then because he went very quickly. I think they set him on fire. Anyway, we'll come back here and we'll use this position along this road to try and shoot anybody coming up either from the middle of the town, or the far right hand side of the town, and the T28 and the M10 will spot stuff in towards the town, and the T34 will probably spot anything that's sort of coming up through the central road. Just trying to get into even more trees here, but I've got to get into a position where I can hit this guy. So, a bot heavy tank, lots of good HP, and you can see I'm fully obscured by the trees, so unless he gets quite close, fortunately the T34 gets killed, unless he gets really close, he's not going to be able to see me. Not sure why I can't get his outline now, a bit weird. He's just gone up a little bit. There we go. Now even more HP coming our way. We've got the bot KV1. Now weirdly the bot KV1 has got 3 kills, so it's had a really good game. Gun's doing really well. I don't probably need... Oh, there's little tanks running around in front of me. Lucky I took him out then, I was about to take some heat from him. The bots run away. I just cannot hit this guy, and I fail. This is a big mistake here. I failed to swing back to AP. I should not be using my AP, and I'll probably, well, I don't really regret it, but it certainly would have made my task a little bit easier. Okay, now I want to try and kill this little TD before the T1 turns up. That's been a really successful defence of the field. We've managed to take out the 2 bot heavy tanks. Our M10's doing a fantastic job as well. He's been finishing off the smaller tanks that were running around in the field there. I don't want to go too far at this point. I've got to get back, try and back up the M10. But I do want to kill the M8 because it's just likely to pop up and shoot you when you least expect it, so it's better off if we can actually take it down. Unfortunately the T10, oh god, did not expect that to be there. Okay, well that was alright. That was still spotted I think though, and I shouldn't have come out there. That was very lucky. So the armour on this thing is only 40mm. I'm also making a mistake here. I should be aiming between those 2 houses because I thought he was going to come out in front of it, but he actually goes behind it. Oh well. Now the M10 at this stage probably should have backed off a little bit, even if he came sort of towards me, or yeah, more to the left perhaps, but I think he's trying to get in behind and spot up the road there, and I'm just moving in. I want to get behind these bank of bushes here. This is really good cover, hard to penetrate. Oh, he's been hit, and he's been hit a second time. Wow. I don't know how he did that, but this gun takes a bit of time to settle, so I missed that. That would have been a really useful hit had I been able to get it. Oh, I don't know what I was doing there. Just, I was too slow. I mustn't have had my finger on the trigger then. I anticipated that's where he would turn up, but I didn't fire. I guess it was getting pretty tense at this point of the battle. But again, what this is showing is that I've really now got him locked down. He can't escape either left or right without me seeing him. And I'm far enough back that if I fire, my camo rating and the tree camo and the trees up that end seem to be enough to actually obscure me completely. Could be that the T1 just does not have very good view range. I thought most American tanks did, but maybe it doesn't. Again, I'm just not doing this very well. You can see he's still got more health than I do, but he misses that free hit then. That was certainly a bit of a mistake on his part, and he does pay for it. Now he's going to get a bit inventive here. The T1 has very strong turret armour. The mantlets with my standard rounds is almost impenetrable. The hull though is another matter, and I can, if he turns his hull one way or another, I can absolutely pen him with ease. Well, there we go. Yeah, he's pushing the M10 around. He's going to push it side on and up. So he's there somewhere. I'm not quite sure. There he is. That went by. He's taking a few blind shots at the bushes, which is not that surprising. He probably thinks he has the advantage at this point, but as I say, I've got him bottled up and he can't see me. He's really struggling to see me. Missed it there. He manages to get us with a blind shot, so I just quickly pull back, and you see, he knew, if he knew what his stuff, he would have known that first one was probably a hit. He won't know whether it absolutely did damage or not, but he'll know it hit something. Again, I'm just a bit worried. There's a bit of a gap just there in the bushes. I don't want to drive into that because I think he might be able to see me through there if I'm not careful. This thing has very good camo rating. It gets its, when I'm stationary and not firing, it's 44% reductions in his spotting distance. So if he had a spotting range of 400, that would be, 400, that would mean that it would take about 88. No, sorry, that's more than that. It would be, he'd only be able to spot me, about 230 out, something like that. Anyway, we get that pin in. He still seems to think we're a bit further up the road where he originally hit us. Now we're too far through these bushes. He should be able to see us. I can only think that he's got a very poor crew, or that because he's behind the bushes up that end, the effect of the 2 row of bushes is combining to be enough to actually reduce his vision range even more. Anyway, very late in the game, I could just sit there and wait for him to poke. I might only get one more hit in. I need at least 1, maybe 2 to kill him. Probably 2, because he's just, like I say, the average damage on this is 180. He's on 196. Probably unlikely for me to get that unless I hit him and start a fire or manage to ammo rack him or something. So let's try to flank him. Let's sneak up on him again. I'm hoping that he won't see me until it's too late. So far he hasn't seen me, which is great. And I managed to spot him. I probably just the top of his turret must be poking up there, but he didn't spot me again because this thing is so stealthy even when moving. Now I probably made a slight mistake here. I probably shouldn't have pushed into him. Let him shoot me once. He probably made a mistake there too. Now, I'm baffled as to how he got round that guy then. He obviously took a very wide berth, but anyway, he pulled right back so he can't shoot us over the pile. And bang, just had enough. If that had missed, I would have been very, very upset. But that was an ace. 5 kills, 3,335 damage, a really good victory.